Hey everybody, welcome to RefTime, powered by RTS and produced by Coraggio Media. I'm Tanya.
And I'm Crane. We'll be covering rules, plays, points of emphasis, and all things official. And welcome to another segment of RefTime. In the beautiful downtown studio of Welt, we have Miss Tanya Hearn. Say hey.
Hey.
That was so lame. And we also have Mr. Jafus Woods.
The coach.
The coach.
The coach.
The coach.
The coach.
The coach. Not the coach. The coach.
The coach.
The coach.
DA.
I always wanted to ask you, where'd you get that name from, the coach?
I mean, it's just how it became. I don't know.
The kids just started calling you the coach? Or you started calling you the coach?
I kind of start calling me the coach.
I think it's probably just a slang thing, right?
Yeah,
like
it
the becomes the coach, right?
And coach was just something that I just picked up just doing.
Okay, so let's start with that then. First of all, what I know you're younger than me, but what age range are you?
I'm between 40 and 45.
Okay, and
Closer to 45.
Wow. Can't strike that. That's already out there. And so what got you into coaching? And what sport or sports?
When I got cut my senior year in high school.
From
basketball.
Where at?
At Elmhurst.
I forgot you went to Elmhurst.
Yes.
I
Oh,
think
y'all
you told
have
me
that in common.
Yeah, I went to
Aw.
Elmhurst. Bam! I started to say Archers, so I'm used to saying it, but it's Trojans because of Juanita, so Archers are stuck in my head. So anyway, you got cut. Who was the coach there when they cut you?
Keith Edmonds.
Keith Edmonds cut you?
Yep.
And you have conversation with Keith nowadays.
Oh,
Time to
yeah,
time.
no doubt.
Did you guys ever talk about why he cut you?
I mean, at the time he told me
Okay,
what was going on.
You remember what it was?
Just where was going to fit you in, things and that such, as far as like talent-wise and what was coming in senior year. So,
who were some of the players that were the up-and-coming, talked-about players that you played with then at Elmhurst?
That I played with?
Well, the ones he was saying that you were not going to play because they had spots, I guess.
I mean, they had a nice squad too. They ended up going to state that year.
Who was it?
With James Harden. And,
I was just thinking it's James Harden.
Joe Poindexter.
Oh yeah, Joe.
That team that year. So.
And Joe was
Darcy.
one of the highest jumping kids I ever refed.
Yeah.
He could get up.
Very talented individual.
Is he still around Fort Wayne?
As far as I know.
Okay,
yes.
because I haven't seen him around.
I mean, neither have I, but
Okay.
I believe he is.
So, Coach Edmonds told you what he told you, cut you, and that turned your interest towards coaching?
I actually became a fan, just being a team, just being part of the school spirit and stuff like that, and we're just on the sideline, just seeing a different vision.
Okay.
Still love playing the game, but it wasn't. But the coaching became more about teaching the sport.
Now, I'm curious, if you got cut from high school and the coach told you whatever reasons he did, and your story is somewhat similar to mine when I got cut in college, but that's another story. But then you went from that of getting cut and the coach told you whatever reason, and then you went into coaching kids on how to play the game. So my question is, when he cut you, did it affect your self-esteem? I mean, how'd you go into thinking I got cut to I can teach it?
I mean, I guess it just became a habit.
Because, I mean, you didn't become a coach right then.
Right,
I mean,
right.
It was
Because like you say, he was a
years
fan
later,
of the game for a long time.
Right.
He was in high school, so.
High school, just going through life. Like I said, I was just excited, just still about graduating and stuff like that.
Okay.
Like I said, had a lot going on, at home at the time, and so just being able to still be around friends and still being able to, like I said, coach. And then I had an opportunity to actually be a player coach once I graduated high school with the Ewell Wilson Center during the summer league.
And you were with them for a while, right? Ewell Wilson Center?
Well, it was just one season with the Ewell Wilson Center.
Okay.
But I ended up going back to, at the time it was Mr. Benny Lewis and Mike Ayers was running the summer league program. So I went back on my own, just wanted to get a team with them and put a team together, and just won that year, and it just kind of just stuck to me.
Now you don't just coach; you also do training. Is that correct? You train players,
and that was the biggest thing for me is training kids wanting to play and didn't really know the structure of how to play, and like, oh, I can shoot, but can you really shoot? So just from the teachings that I got when I was a kid to up until now, and then still learning from you guys and other coaches that still coaching and things and that such, is we brought the love and the passion for it.
Okay. So you grew up in Fort Wayne, obviously.
Born and raised. Born and raised in Summer City, baby.
All right. And so basketball has been your first love in terms of all. Did you play any other sports as a kid?
Football.
Okay.
I actually was better in football.
I was going to ask you which sport did you think you was better at. Now, here's the question. You say you think you was better in football. The adults around you, which one do they think you were better in?
Probably I don't really know.
Okay.
I kept myself average.
Okay.
I'm going to say I kept myself average.
What does that mean?
Meaning I never really gave it all.
Okay.
Gave it all. I didn't see that until my senior year. And that's when I was like, man, I really could have did something with it. But, I mean, I played as a kid, I played on a lot of losing teams, but I still enjoyed the game, enjoyed being around, just the friends, the people, and everything like that. So
I'm gonna move you away just slow so they can see your pretty face. And I listening to that part of it, Jafus, I think that's what I was alluding to. I think personally, knowing you all these years, that might have been what influenced you into coaching, because you saw in yourself things that you should have done, could have done better, and you would have ended up in a different situation, obviously.
Right.
But you didn't apply yourself. So now I think I see you trying to get kids to realize at an earlier age they're not applying themselves.
Well, I think it's more about understanding how to apply myself.
Okay.
Again, it was coaches yourselves has always told me to apply, but it's like how to do that.
I know.
How to apply yourself and what to apply it to. So
yeah, I didn't apply myself either, and now I kick myself sometimes because I listen to my story when I'm telling other people. I'm like, I figured out in college that I had not applied myself. My first year in college, I figured out I had not applied myself academically, and I'd have been a totally different person had I done that. But when you're young, you just don't want to listen. We were talking about that on the way down here. Our daughter, when you're young, I got all the answers. I got this. And then later on you run into a brick wall and you're going, can y'all help me? So in your coaching career so far, what would you say has been some highlights?
Whoa.
You didn't see that question coming out.
Nah. And I say that because I don't really, just seeing the kids be successful.
Well, give me some details. If you can. Highlights.
You got Michael Ealy, Mike Barnfield, just to name a few of them, name a couple of them. Right now you got Jakai Rich. Just wasn't about the sport, was just be successful in life.
So what kind of successes have you seen in those young men? They're all males?
Yes.
Okay, what kind of successes have you seen?
I got
what? Why you look at me like that?
Got a couple females that actually.
Because I'm saying, I hear names sometimes. I'm like, is that a boy? Is that a girl? I don't know. You know all the kids he just named?
No.
Why you look at me like that?
Because they sounded like boy names, so.
Whatever.
Okay.
Ignore that. Whatever.
Yeah, silly.
Hey, we hear that a lot, don't we? Make sure you stay in the camera now.
I'm in it.
Okay.
I believe.
Okay, so you say you had some girls, too, that you work with?
Yes.
Okay. Putting him on the spot.
Yeah, definitely put me on the spot.
All right. Well, we'll come back to that.
Yeah, we'll come back.
Think of some highlights, but let's go to some games, game situations. Obviously, I know you've coached in AAU games and stuff like that. So, so in that circuit, I know that you've dealt with officials. Let's go into that kind of area. So what are your thoughts and maybe concerns when it comes to officials?
Have
you had any negative interaction with any officials? We'll go there.
I'm gonna say yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna say yeah. Actually, I think it's more so understanding. I've officiated a couple games and actually tried to learn the game a little bit, so understanding what the role of the official is and what the role of the coach is, and either gonna call it or not. So it's
So you've officiated a couple of games.
Yeah, which is
just to get the feel of it, just to kind of see what it's like to officiate, or was it you were doing it to get paid? I mean, what was your reasoning for doing it?
Again, just being a part of the game.
Okay.
Just being a part of the game, being a part of the structure of the game. Honestly, I think it's just something that's just it comes with the growth of a person, growth of the game.
So how do you feel you did in officiating?
I think I did pretty good. The whistle ain't blow too hard. It was just one of those two instead of. But
it was not an authoritative blow.
Yeah.
It's a little different when you have to blow it, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I'm just letting you know she's setting you up. I'm just telling you that and she got that innocent look on her face.
I'm just asking questions, trying to get some conversation.
You leave him alone. He is my guest. You leave him alone. Because I don't know fully where you're going, but I think I know, because one of the things that you always say is that you think coaches should mandatorily have to officiate.
I do. I think that coaches should have to officiate, and not just one game, and not where it's just some, inter squad little scrimmage thing.
Where
I
they're
think
comfortable.
You
want to be uncomfortable.
I think they should have to officiate in an uncomfortable situation where they have parents and fans, grandparents, yelling at them just like they do us.
Nowadays.
Yeah,
the kids nowadays.
The kids behave in the way that they do.
And I knew that's where she was going when she mentioned AAU.
Well, no, because I don't know that he's coached. You
I
haven't coached school ball.
I coached football. Never coached school ball.
Okay,
but you've coached in the AAU tournaments.
Yeah,
yes,
that's what you're talking about.
That's why I went there, because
that's a
I
rough
knew
environment
it
for
is.
officials,
yes, it is.
New officials.
Yes, it
very
is.
rough.
Yeah,
yes,
I was watching this little skit on Facebook. Somebody had posted this morning on how
just call it even. That's all we ask for. Just call it even.
Yeah, just
that's it.
Don't even start.
Just play consistent. Then that's all we ask for.
Yeah,
just coach consistently. Then that's all we ask for.
Because the thing is, when coaches ask for that, she's right. Both of you coaches are looking for what you want. But when you say call it even, you're talking about from your perspective, and he or she is talking about from her perspective.
Right.
Well, I guess for me, it's more so in when it comes to the foul calling. When it comes to that, if
are you talking about the even number of fouls at both ends?
Yeah.
So if I have a foul down here, I got to call a foul down here.
You don't have to.
But that's what you want.
Not saying you're not saying that it got to come right back to back.
But you prefer the foul count is even.
Yeah, by the end of the game.
Why?
Because I'm pretty sure both squads are playing just as hard as the next.
Okay, let me give you a scenario that happened. Evan Cleveland.
Yes.
And we want to get him on too. So Evan, I'm talking about you because I'm coming to get you as the next guest. But anyway, Evan and I was blowing a game. I don't remember where we were. I think it might have been at Speece. And he approached, ref, Crane, I'm sorry, ref, and I'm like, just ask the question, dude. I don't want to get in trouble. Look, just ask me a question. He goes, I just want to know, Crane, how come when we come out, we got all these fouls against us and they don't have all the fouls against them? Exactly what you're talking about. And I looked at him, I said, that's pretty simple. He goes, I don't get it. I said, Evan, you guys are coming down and you are shooting threes. They're coming down, they're going to the hoop. And he goes, oh, yeah, you're right. I didn't think of that. So I don't know. I don't understand sometimes why coaches look at us and can't get the logic of what we're doing. It's simple to us. If there's contact, we'll call it. If there's not contact that we didn't see, and a lot of people say, everybody in the gym heard it. But we don't go by what we hear. Mm-hmm. We have to go by what we see. That's the way we're trained. And another thing, and I was telling another coach this, Andrew, who was on with us recently, and I told him that you have different levels of officials. You have some officials like us who do a lot of school ball and even college ball. So we have to be in the rule book on a regular basis. And then we have to attend these meetings put on by these college assigners. Sometimes we went to one college assigner meeting at Indiana Tech, I think it was last year. They sat there, and I kid you not, for 50 minutes, they discussed the new rule of flopping. 50 minutes, we sat there. College-level officials. So we're going through that kind of rigorous training, and then you have officials who are just out there for the money. which I guess we call ground level officials because they're boots on the ground. And these guys are coming out just trying to get the money. And unfortunately, a lot of guys who do AAU ball are ground level officials. They're not trying to move up in high school. They're not trying to move up in college. They're not trying to move up in semi-pro or pro. So you got a different, I guess, a different type of official. Mm-hmm. And when officials like us come in and you say, why don't you just keep it even? It's not an even game.
Right.
It's just not. It's a different style of ball you're both playing.
Right.
And you might have a player who's frustrated because, I don't know, something went on at home and he's hacking everybody. And he's what we call a game interrupter. We got to get him out of here because he going to cause a fight. Mm-hmm. It's just the way we think as high school and college level officials. So I don't know, am I out of bounds on what I'm saying? I'm talking about the culture of officiating. We got several different cultures. What do you think?
No, I mean, we've talked about that before where, coaches are always, saying to us that they want us to be consistent. Mm-hmm. Well, the game is inconsistent.
Right.
Players are inconsistent.
Yep.
Coaching is inconsistent.
Mm-hmm.
You decide, little Sally out there, she shot a bad 3. I'm going to yank her. I'm going to put, little Susie in. Right. Well, Susie is the third string. What are you putting her in the game for? So what? Sally missed a 3. She's going to go down and do something else, to make up for it. But coaches getting their little attitudes or whatever, getting your emotions, and you want to yank somebody because whatever reason. That's not on me. Or what happens when you go into the locker room at halftime? Your team may have been up, right? And they're all happy and then they come out after halftime and all of a sudden they're not the same team that they were in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
They're lazy. They're not moving their feet on defense.
Mm-hmm.
They're not hitting their baskets. How do you want me to be consistent when your kids aren't consistent?
And that happens a lot when teams are up because when they're at that
they get that comfort
age,
zone, like, oh man, we got the game won. We don't have to do anything.
And their game changes, and coaches may not see that. The coaches thinking their way they're thinking, but the players are playing differently. Now the other team's more aggressive, and they see some light at the end of the tunnel. They start playing harder. The momentum changes, but then it's our fault, and we're kind of like, Coach, I just put your guy at the line. Y'all missed 7 free throws in a row. You lost by 2, but it's my fault. Y'all missed 7 points.
I mean, I see where you're coming from, but what about those games where it is close at the whole game,
mm-hmm.
and it does come down to that officiating, and it still becomes uneven. Now the uneven becomes towards the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I still say look at your overall play. How many free throws did you guys shoot? How many did you miss? How many turnovers did you have? I don't have anything to do with your turnovers.
And how many missed shots?
How many missed shots did you have?
We have nothing to do with those stats. But everybody blames us for calls.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I
understand where you're coming from.
I'm not saying that,
because
okay.
that isn't you guys' job to make sure that we hit all our shots and things and as such.
And but maybe you should have called a timeout, 3 minutes before you called it. And that's one thing, that we're also trained to do. If a team is coming back, let's say you guys are ahead and the other team is starting to make a little comeback, my ears are starting to perk up like, okay, coach going to be calling timeout?
Yep.
Coach, you going to call timeout?
I'm looking
ain't calling timeout?
And we're like,
right,
why didn't he call timeout?
And so there's those factors, and I can't come over to you and be like, Coach, why didn't you call timeout? But that's not, and again, we don't tell you how to coach. So what gives coaches the right to tell us how to officiate? When I've been doing it 20 years.
And the other thing,
I can't speak for any other coaches. Now I was talking for all the coaches. Now I can only speak for me.
He's retracting.
All right,
you got it.
I'm gonna talk for me because
I smell a retreat here.
Because I understand that you guys got a job, we got a job,
right.
And our job is really to and I learned this actually from Ukraine. Our job is to control our own team.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually try to get texts. Crane would never give me a text.
I wouldn't. I was like, I know that's what he wants. I ain't giving it.
Because I don't want my team to get a text.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
That makes sense.
I don't want my team to get a text because it can change the dynamic of the game.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I can say, hey, y'all see how they treat me? And it's more so like
you do that, don't you?
I do.
That's so cold, man. Why you do that to us?
Because
then you make the kids not like the officials.
Because we're at battle.
But you're not at war with us.
See, and I think that's the big thing.
No, it's not more at battle with you guys,
Right.
with the ref. But at the end of the day, we got to know that what we did, like, y'all not at our practice,
right?
You know, so it's what I'm teaching and what we're teaching that we got to bring to the table.
And I think if coaches, and would teach their players that we're not the enemy. We're not the enemy.
And every ref is different.
And every
True.
ref is different.
That is very true.
Every ref is different.
And I get it. Some will come in and be like, "Oh, we got Crane today.
Yep.
Keep your hand on top of the ball. Oh, we got Tanya today.
Yeah.
Tuck your jerseys
That's
in.
real. Yeah.
You know,
Got Tanya today. Take off your jewelry.
Take your jewelry off.
Because you still have those. You have those ones that pay more attention to the excitement of the game, and they get lost. They get lost into the action of what's going on.
Do you like those kind of officials?
Absolutely not.
No.
Especially when we need you to make a call.
I expected you to say yes.
As an official, why would you want the official to be
because
watching the game?
You don't want the official to be a fan.
Right.
But a lot of coaches, to me, it seems like they do want that type of official because they, like when we go officiate, the two of us or Sydney, we officiate. You know, you've seen it.
Whether it's AAU, whether it's high school, college.
I'm going to keep control. I'm not going to let kids get hurt.
When I say that, like during that time of officiate, don't be officiate. You know, don't call it because, we cool and you like my team, you know.
You know you're not getting that from me.
Yeah, you ain't
I'm saying
from
any official, but you never know, you know that, but you do have those ones where coaches and coaches and referees become cool or something like that. They become from the same area.
Yeah.
You know them, and it might go uneven.
You know, we always taught Sydney when she was younger. Well, and it wasn't hard because she was always around us when we were at games, and so she would make connections with the officials, you know, and so they always, Sydney, you know, they always loved having little Sydney around. Of course, Sydney grew up, and then now they're reffing Sydney's high school games, right? And Sydney'd be going over to them, hey, you know, how you doing today? And, you know, so she'd go over and speak to them, where her teammates would be kind of looking at her like, why are you talking to them? Like, they're the enemy, you know? And she's
That's
like,
real.
She's like, no, like, I know them. And if I talk to them, then they'll talk back to me, and they will, you know, we have that respect for each other. And so if a situation happened in the game, she could actually go and ask them a question, and they wouldn't be offended by it.
Right.
Where some players, you know, they don't know how to approach us, and they say it in a disrespectful way, and then it ends up getting them in trouble. And it's like, well, they just hate me. No, we don't. You just got to learn how to talk. You know, communicate with us and know that we're not the enemy. Like, I'm not out there to cause your team to lose the game. I don't care who wins. I want you to win, and I want you to win. Good luck.
Now, that's one thing in Jafus knowing us for the years that he has, and you've actually asked us to come in and speak to your team a couple of times. And I was glad you did, because that's what she's talking about. Kids need to spend some time around officials outside the basketball court.
Yeah, we actually did some what are those called? Job fairs?
Yes,
we did some job fairs at some of the middle schools this year, and went in our uniforms.
It was wild. It was fun.
You know, to talk to the kids about officiating. But it was fun because we were able to, you know, some of those kids, you know, we reffed them, and they, you know, we one of our questions would be like, you know, you guys think officials cheat, right? And they're like, oh yeah, you know, man, I don't care if you win that game, you know. And so just getting them to see us in a human respect, and letting them know that, you know, we are human and we have fun, we have a good time, you know, we have families, you know, we have a life outside of the basketball court.
Right.
Not much, because most of what we do is officiating and revolves around basketball. But
it was interesting with those kids we went in and talked to at the job fairs, because we would tell them everything that we did, and they're looking at us like, you're right. We do everything we do centers around officiating. But we've got the podcast, we've got the 3-on-3 tournaments, we've got wheelchair basketball, we officiate able-bodied ball. We've got the school where we recruit. I mean, we do everything around officiating. So you really think I'm going to come in here and cheat at your ball game? And when I get down here at this middle school, I got to go over here to the high school and do a game.
Right.
And then tomorrow morning I'd be up for a tournament at this university over here for a women's college. And they're going, huh? So you really think that I'm going to put time and energy into cheating? And they just look at me like, well, that's right. Just leave it at a well, because you're lost. And I think that's one reason we wanted to invite coaches and ADs and players and fans onto the podcast to give people a realistic view of what officiating is about.
Right.
Because most people don't know.
And then the other respect too is that they don't understand that the rules change every year. They just came out
new rule books.
Yeah, they just came out with the new NFHS rules. Rule changes for basketball this year. There's 8 different rule changes.
That's just basketball alone.
That's just basketball, and people don't understand and they don't keep up with that. Like we talk all the time about.
They change them in all sports, so
they do.
They change them in all sports.
Yep. And the fans don't keep up on that, and so they're still yelling 50 years ago over the back. I'm sorry, that rule changed 50 years ago. Like, that rule is no longer a rule.
So I got a question for you, Jafus. In terms of the rules, when you go into different tournaments, do you think that as a coach you know the rules surrounding that tournament?
Not always.
Okay.
Not always. Can't say that. Like I said, just me going into a game, I'm always just thinking about what we got to do.
Right. Have you ever read the rule book?
Not fully.
Okay. Because I was listening to a podcast the other day, and a lady was saying that at one time she heard Kobe Bryant got interviewed, and of course it's NBA, and he told the interviewer that he reads the rule book at the beginning of every season. Through pages, NBA rule book.
I just read the tournament rules when I see them on the table.
And that's what most coaches do. But Kobe, he said he read the rule book every year. He would read it over again from cover to cover. And the lady goes, "You actually do that?" He goes, "Yeah, why wouldn't I?" And the way his mental capacity is, and he says, "I know where the officials are supposed to be on the court. I know where they are. When I look over there, they're where they're supposed to be, and I know what their movement's going to be. Why wouldn't I do that?" Well, that's why he's one of the best of the best, because he read the rules of the profession that he was a part of. And a lot of coaches, we find, we get frustrated with coaches. They haven't opened up a rule book. They don't know anything about the rules, yet they're yelling at us, and we're looking at them going.
And I guess for me, I really didn't go into the rules because, like I said, I don't really want to be I would, but I didn't want to. If that makes any sense. It was more about, understand what the ref has to do, but I want to know the rules and how to get these players better. So.
Yeah, and I think that's one reason we're trying to educate more students, more players, on what we do about the rules, because that'll make them more effective players.
And also I think I'm a little different when it comes to AAU. I don't just go out and just look for the best of the best. I think that with my training and teaching of and developing skill or ability that I get these kids is where I get the most success out of them. Seeing them getting better throughout the season, not just because obviously they coming to get all my good kids, so I'm doing something right.
Right.
There's a difference between game coaches and then preparation coaches, and you're saying you're more of a prep coach.
Definitely a prep coach.
More effective as a prep coach.
Yes.
Okay.
Because fair. Again, I know I'm getting kids that never really played the game.
Yeah.
I want to play, but y'all really don't know what y'all about to get yourself into. Right. You're playing in these tournaments.
Right.
We playing against teams that's been together for years. And we just put this together in 2 months. So.
Well, now we got to go to our question phase.
Uh-oh.
Pick a question and you get to answer it. We'll see if you get the answer right. Now we're pulling out 2. Now, if you'd watched previous episodes, you'd already heard this, but you didn't, so here we go. Read it out loud, please.
Is it okay for the team member on the bench to yell during the opposite team's free throw shot?
So your team players are on your bench. The other team's shooting free throws. Your team's yelling at them, trying to distract them. Is that legal or illegal? Is that okay or not okay?
That's okay.
Okay.
That's true.
Okay. Why? Why would you say that? Why would you say it's okay? Don't worry. Everything I ask you is going to be a why, so it's not a trick question.
No, because they're not like calling him out of his name. It's just trying to distract him from making a shot.
So,
because you said yelling, you didn't say calling name. You just
right.
Yelling.
No, no cursing, just yelling. Right. So, is it against the rules, or is it not against the rules? That's kind of a different question.
I haven't read all the rules, so
okay.
I can't answer that question.
Okay, well, you already did, but she'll tell you if you're right or wrong.
Why do I have to tell him? Why don't
you're
you tell him?
You're not doing anything. You sitting there just listening, smiling. You're looking at him like he's right, so tell him.
He's wrong.
He got excited. He's like, I'm right. You want to explain it to him?
No. The team members and players on the floor are not supposed to try to distract the free throw shooter. That's what the fans are for. That's what the cheerleaders are for. But as far as bench personnel, even the coach really isn't supposed to be saying anything. But most of the time, you'll have the coach, hey, make sure who's got shooter, And so a lot of times that doesn't get penalized or acknowledged. But
it is
illegal. It is illegal.
I'm glad you told me that now, because I definitely talked to the
right.
Yeah,
I have.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And most coaches do, and they know what they're doing.
And I might do it again.
He probably will do it again.
But understand now, AAU has that's a different environment.
Yeah, AAU is different.
There's a lot more lax rules, but what gets us as officials, they'll say they're going by high school rules. Ish. That's really what it means.
Well, I do travel ball, so.
That's what.
And that's usually they still say they'll still say NFH rules.
Yeah, they say we're going by high school rules, and we'll say, what does that mean? Well, we're going by high school rules, but then you're not going by high school rules.
I remember when I was putting those games together, I was going by
Jafus rules.
But I was pulling it from other leagues. I was.
He's trying to justify. But I was you were going by Jafus rules because you were taking a hodgepodge of rules and putting them together.
That's how I was learning, though.
And that's what a lot of coaches do.
Didn't have nobody on my side really.
Right.
I wasn't ready for that because I was too strung on what I saw.
Right. And I think that's really what the problem is when it comes to sports and officiating, because when you have officials who are trying to go by the so-called rules, which we try to go by those, a lot of coaches who want to do their own thing are like, man, that's whack, man. You a horrible official. Well, yeah, by your standards, I am. But you didn't ask me to come in here and go by your standards. You asked me to come in here and officiate. And you said you're going by high school rules, so listen to what you said. Okay, next question.
All right.
Oh, man, I put that one back in there.
No, you didn't.
Nope, he took it out.
I pulled it out. I knew he was trying to cheat. Got to read it.
Is it a violation to dribble the ball while taking the ball out before throwing it in?
So the player's standing out of bounds. I just handed him the ball. He's bouncing it, and I got a 5-second count. Is that legal or illegal?
It is illegal.
Why?
Because it's a violation.
Double dribble?
Why is it a violation? He's out of bounds.
If he bounces like this, is that a double dribble or what? You said it's a violation. What kind of violation?
It's a double dribble.
Okay.
Hold on. Is this so? It didn't say after the shot. It says just taking it out of bounds.
Either way.
So if I'm handing you the ball as a player, if I'm handing you the ball out of bounds to inbound the ball, are you able to dribble it while you're out of bounds? Or if you're taking it out after a made shot. So after a made shot, you grab the ball, you go to take it out of bounds, you dribble it. Is that illegal? Is that a violation?
Yes, I believe so.
Say no.
Stop cheating. Why you say you believe so?
Just again, that's one of the rules, I guess.
So if you take the ball, you get the rebound, right? You step out of bounds and you dribble it and then pass it in. That's have you ever seen that called?
I guess I never thought about it.
Right. But if it happens,
but I have seen. Well, I do know that you can take it and run the baseline after a made shot.
Right.
And I do know that you have to stand still after it just goes out of bounds. You can't move.
If
somebody just handing the ball.
If the official is handing the ball, then
but as far as dribbling the ball, I mean, I guess I never seen anybody do it.
Oh, I've had kids do it.
And especially the younger kids will do it. I mean,
because they're trying to hold it and get the feel of it.
And they don't know.
Right. So I guess just seeing
I think it used to be a violation years ago, but it is not.
It's not a violation.
Oh, that was a long time ago then, wasn't it?
You just had to go there, didn't you? Whatever. Yeah, it's not a violation because it's a dead ball situation.
If they're out of bounds.
She just cut me off. She just cut me off.
Now, if they're out of bounds and they dribble, if their feet are out of bounds and they're dribbling the ball inbounds, that would be a violation. But if I'm out of bounds and I'm dribbling the ball out of bounds, and then I go to pass it in.
So if he's standing there, he's dribbling the ball inbounds, what would you call?
He's out of bounds.
What would you call?
Out of bounds violation.
Okay.
Quick question.
Yep.
I believe I know the answer, but
Okay.
maybe some of these coaches don't understand the backcourt violation of how the 3-point aspect go. Could you explain that to?
I think I shared that with you one time. That's where you
Yes.
got 3 points. Okay.
Yes.
Over and back.
Yes.
That's what you're talking about. So the
Yes.
kid's coming up the court from his backcourt. It's called a backcourt, front court. Behind the 10-second line is his backcourt. He's got 10 seconds to get past the center court line. Once he gets past it, he's in the front court. Now, to get from backcourt to front court, he has to have what we call all 3 points past the division line.
Okay.
All 3 points is 2 feet and the ball.
Okay.
So if he goes up on a press situation, he comes up to the sideline, he gets past his defender, a secondary defender comes off, cut him off before he crosses the line, but he's got 2 feet over the line. The ball's still dribbling in the backcourt. He's still got backcourt status. I still got a 10-second
Okay,
count.
that's what I was going to get asked. Once he now if they only get like 1 or 2 of those points over, could they still come to the
Yeah,
backcourt?
he still has backcourt status.
But that time
But
is still
that 10
ticking.
The
seconds
10
is still
seconds
counting.
count is still
Counts.
going on. Yep.
Okay.
That's why they have. It used to be when I first started officiating a long, long time ago. Don't need your input on that. Anyway, when I used to officiate, it was weird because the officials had to come up because they call it breaking the plane, and you had to break the plane before you would lose your backcourt status. So once you broke the plane, you couldn't come back.
Now it was once the ball broke the plane.
Any
though.
part of the player or the ball.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
And before I started playing, it may have just been the ball, but it's changed. That stuff has evolved.
Because I know
over the
when
years.
when I played Wayne Township, you know, that's when I first met you guys. That's
Yeah,
where
he was like a little.
yeah, I was.
He wasn't that
still,
tall.
Still taller.
He
than
wasn't
you,
that
though.
tall.
No,
I was taller.
no,
than
you weren't taller than me. No, and I hooped you.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I mean you was in college, you know.
I was not in college.
You know, yeah, so it's cool.
Anyway, you were saying
But that's when, you know, like you said, break the
Break the
plane.
plane, right.
Yeah, one
Back then.
get at least the ball had to be over, or
Yeah.
1 foot had to be over. You can't
and I
go
don't
back.
remember if it was the ball. I think before I started,
I think it was
playing,
just any part of your body, or
yeah,
you know.
yeah. Once you broke the plane,
But the ball had to get over before the 10 seconds went out.
it could be. I don't remember. But back in the day, then you had that rule. You had the jump rule. Yeah, we're almost
Yep.
there. You had the jump rule because you got to go.
Yes,
okay.
he does.
So I'm gonna say this and I'll quit it. The jump rule. Remember the three circle jump rule? Anytime you had a jump ball, you go to the nearest circle to do an actual physical jump.
Like
Yeah.
the NBA.
Yeah.
They stopped that because the length of the games was getting to be too long. Girls basketball, there was so many tie-ups. They went to alternating possession, and then they went to gender-neutral alternating possession. So because they did it with the girls, legally it had to do with the boys. That's where that came from.
Okay.
So anyway, I guess we're getting ready to cut off now.
Yep,
So
we're gonna wrap up. So
we've had a good time with the
Jay-
coach.
the coach,
the
Mr.
coach.
Jafus
The
Wood.
coach.
All right,
Make
so
a couple of announcements and
couple
we're
of
out.
quick announcements. So check us out, Hoosier3on3.com. Our tournament's coming up July 12th. That will be held at Turnstone. Game time should be starting around 2:30 in the afternoon.
July 12th.
July 12th. Turnstone. Hoosier3on3.
And Hoosier 3-on-3. And then also we have the Ref School coming up. We have another class. We currently have a basketball class with RefTrainingschool.com. So any of you that are interested in getting into officiating basketball and or volleyball, go to RefTrainingschool.com. RefTrainingschool.com.
And
We have a-
actually, basketball class will start the first Sunday in June, and volleyball will start that first Monday in June, and that is all on the website, so check us out.
So we look forward to seeing you on the court either in the Hoosier 3-on-3 or Ref School.
RefTrainingschool.com.
So, yes. So we look forward to seeing you on the next segment. Say goodbye to the coach and appreciate you guys watching. Hang in there. We'll be back with you again soon. Thanks again for listening to RefTime, powered by RefTrainingschool.com and Hoosier3on3.com. Produced by Coraggio Media, RefTime is recorded in WELT Studios in beautiful downtown Fort Wayne, Indiana.
To join RTS, visit reftrainingschool.com. Please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Until next time.